You are watching this video right now, and there is a very high probability you should be doing something else. You know what that important thing is, but instead, you're sitting here, frozen. Chronic procrastinators live in a state of constant internal conflict. Their entire existence is entrenched in the feeling that whatever they are currently doing is less important than the task they are avoiding. By the time this 6-minute video ends, you are going to have a tangible, physical first draft of whatever it is you are putting off. To make that happen, you need to grab 3 things right now. Clearly identify the specific task you're dreading, grab a physical pen and a piece of paper, and open the clock app on your phone to get a timer ready. Gathering these physical tools interrupts your passive scrolling. You are pulling yourself out of the audience and actively committing your brain to a structured protocol. Right now, your brain is caught in a tug-of-war. You're consuming content, but you're not even enjoying it, because that internal conflict adds a constant layer of tension and stress to your day. Step 1 is to break that tension by writing an anti-to-do list. Take your pen and paper and write down your exact plan to goof off. Specify the app you want to open, like Reddit or TikTok, and write out the exact type of videos or threads you hope to find. Next to that, give yourself a strict time limit for how long you are allowed to scroll. You are converting a blind compulsion into a conscious, planned activity. By deciding exactly how and when you escape, you put yourself back in the driver's seat of your own brain. Step 2 is about building physical momentum through the 1-second rule. Look around your immediate area and find one tiny physical action you can complete instantly. It could be grabbing the empty coffee mug sitting next to your keyboard and walking them to the dishwasher. Digital scrolling offers a constant, hollow stream of novelty. By contrast, finishing a physical task, no matter how small, breaks the cycle of avoidance and provides a distinct sense of traction that makes the next task feel easier to start. Making a deliberate change in your physical environment proves to yourself that you can initiate movement. You have to establish this physical control before you can tackle complex cognitive work. Now look at the actual task you've been avoiding. Often the reason you haven't started is the underlying pressure that your work needs to be flawless, or that you need to sound incredibly smart right out of the gate. Step 3 eliminates that pressure entirely. You are going to commit to making the garbage version. Take your expectations and drop your standards straight to the floor. Give yourself total permission to write the absolute worst, most embarrassing first draft possible. Once the bar is on the floor, it's incredibly easy to cross. A messy, poorly constructed draft gives you something to edit later, which is vastly superior to staring at a blank page. That brings us to step 4, the 15-minute suffer window. Take out the timer we set up earlier and put 15 minutes on the clock. You only have to endure doing the work for exactly that long, and then you are allowed to stop. Your brain naturally resists starting hard things, but after you push through those first few minutes of friction, that resistance fades, and you slip into a productive flow state where the work feels much lighter. By forcing yourself to sit through a strictly timed window of low-stakes effort, you bypass the psychological roadblocks keeping you stuck. Your timer is running, and you've started your rough draft. The challenge now is keeping your focus locked in until that clock hits 0. Step 5 is a mental framing tool called the Sims view. Zoom out from your current frustration and imagine you are observing your own life from a top-down perspective, exactly like you are controlling a character in a life simulation game. Every minute you spend on this difficult task is simply your character grinding a specific action. You are just sitting back, watching the progress bar fill up as you accumulate skill points. Focusing on a specific skill creates tangible progress, while passive distractions yield nothing. Every hour you spend working increases your character's value and leads to higher career levels and better long-term prospects. Viewing your efforts from this detached angle strips away the heavy human emotions. You aren't worrying about whether your draft looks stupid. You are simply clicking the button to level up your stats. When you treat your daily responsibilities as mechanical inputs required to level up your life, you remove the emotional anxiety that triggers procrastination. Look where you are now. By setting up a timer and accepting a terrible first pass, you've bypassed your mental paralysis and actually started generating the work you were avoiding. There is one final requirement to make sure you don't end up right back in this paralyzing loop tomorrow. You have to fix the biological baseline. You are severely handicapping your willpower if you try to operate on 5 hours of sleep, poor nutrition, and hours of blue light exposure directly before bed. Tonight, execute a strict biological reset. Turn off your screens a full hour before you go to sleep. Aim for a solid 8 hours of rest, and start tomorrow morning with a protein-heavy breakfast. Now, it's time to actually do the thing. Close this video, respect the time left on your clock,